Today on NewsWatch, under fire. The U.S. Attorney General met with Bill Clinton at the same time the FBI is investigating Hillary. Did the Attorney General commit a violation of ethics? Plus, the economy is sputtering along. See who has a plan to supercharge it by slashing America's complicated tax system.
God's judgment on America and his hand of judgment, which is very obviously here, will put us down on our knees until we look up.
The surprising truth about the church in America and the one thing that can turn this nation around. Thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Caitlin Burke. Was it just an awkward moment or a conflict of interest? Both Republicans and Democrats in Washington are upset over a meeting this week between the U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch and former President Clinton. The encounter calls into question the impartiality of the investigation on Hillary Clinton's use of personal servers for State Department emails. Gary Lane has more.
Attorney General Loretta Lynch crossed paths with former President Bill Clinton Monday at the Phoenix airport. She portrayed it as a chance encounter, simply an exchange of personal pleasantries.
Our conversation was a great deal about his grandchildren. It was primarily social and about our travels. He mentioned the golf he played in Phoenix.
The 30-minute meeting came aboard the Attorney General's private jet. She said there was no discussion about Benghazi or the investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails. Republicans, including Donald Trump, were quick to criticize Lynch for a possible ethics breach.
Who would think that when, you have this massive investigation going on emails, which is so serious, they'd have a meeting like this. So I was very surprised.
And the criticism didn't come from only Republicans. Some Democrats also suggested the appearance of a conflict of interest because of the investigation of the former president's wife when she was Secretary of State.
I think she should have said, look, I recognize you have a long record of leadership on fighting crime, but this is not the time for us to have that conversation.
And even David Axelrod, former political strategist for President Obama, tweeted, Lynch was foolish for creating such optics. This is significant because while the FBI is still investigating Hillary Clinton's emails and her use of a personal server when she was Secretary of State, it is the Attorney General who will decide if an indictment on criminal charges will be brought against the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee. The White House insists politics won't play a role in the decision on whether or not to indict Mrs. Clinton.
What is paramount in the mind of the president is a commitment to the rule of law and a commitment to ensuring that justice is administered without regard to political affiliation or political standing.
Gary Lane, CBN News.
Israelis are mourning the death of the 13-year-old girl who was murdered in her bed by a 17-year-old Palestinian. As Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem, leaders are blaming the constant incitement by the Palestinian Authority for her killing.
The death of Israeli-American Hallel Yafa Ariel shocked the nation. A Palestinian teenager snuck into her bedroom and stabbed her to death. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expressed the emotion of the country.
This morning, a terrorist sneaked into the bedroom of a 13-year-old girl, Hallel Yafa Ariel. He murdered young Hallel in cold blood. The picture of her blood-stained room is almost too hard to see. There's a teddy bear still on her bed, a red beanbag chair, some pictures on the wall, shoes tightly packed in a bin next to her bunk bed. Why would any person do this?
Netanyahu blamed incitement by the Palestinian Authority. Just 3 days before the murder of Ariel, a senior member of Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas's political party told a newspaper, everywhere you see an Israeli, cut off his head.
You don't murder a sleeping child for peace. You don't slit a little girl's throat to protest a policy you don't like. You do this because you've been brainwashed. You've been brainwashed by a warped ideology that teaches you that this child isn't human.
Ariel was a U.S. citizen and cousin to a senior Israeli cabinet minister.
The reality is that this incitement by Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas has resulted in the murdering of children. The vengeance of the Lord is the vengeance of the Lord, but our vengeance is continuing to build on this land.
According to a Hebron news agency, the mother of 17-year-old Mohammed Taraira said, "My son is a hero. He made me proud. My son died as a martyr defending Jerusalem and Al-Aqsa Mosque. Fatah also honored Tarayra by declaring him a martyr. Hundreds came to Ariel's funeral. Her mother, Rina, blamed Mohammed's mother. I raised my daughter with love, she said. You taught your son to hate. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
The Pentagon will allow transgender people to serve openly in the U.S. military. Defense Secretary Ash Carter says the change takes effect immediately.
Our mission is to defend this country, and we don't want barriers unrelated to a person's qualification to serve preventing us from recruiting or retaining the soldier, sailor, airman, or Marine who can best accomplish the mission.
Transgender service members will receive the same medical coverage as any other member of the military. For current members of the military, that includes coverage of hormone therapy and gender reassignment surgery. Incoming service members must already be in a stable gender. A federal judge blocked an Indiana law Thursday that bans abortions on babies with genetic abnormalities. The law said abortions for reasons like Down syndrome, race, sex, or ancestry were illegal. Planned Parenthood had filed a lawsuit arguing the law was unconstitutional and violated women's rights, but Indiana Solicitor General Thomas Fisher argued the law is about preventing discrimination. And in Florida, a federal judge is blocking a law that limited public funding to abortion clinics in the state. The law prevented any state funds from going to a group that also provides abortions. It also added health inspections and required abortion doctors to have admitting privileges to nearby hospitals to improve women's safety. Since the Supreme Court struck down the Texas abortion bill, Planned Parenthood has launched a campaign to attack 8 other states with the same safety and health regulations. Americans United for Life's president says the Supreme Court's decision on Monday will drive down the medical standards in abortion clinics in states across the country. He said one thing that taxpayers need to understand is that if Planned Parenthood's attorneys win in any of the 8 states, taxpayers will pay the attorneys' fees. The weak U.S. economy is one of the most important issues in this election year. But is there a way to get the economy growing again and make filing your taxes easier at the same time? Critics say our complex tax code is hurting businesses and costing jobs. Now Republicans in Congress say they have a plan to change all of that. Abigail Robertson brings us the story from Washington.
The economy may not be growing very strong, but the length of the American tax code is. The complicated tax code is difficult to comply with, and it includes the highest business tax among major countries. Experts argue that the government could solve both problems at once by reforming the almost 75,000-page federal tax code, and that a newer, streamlined tax system could help the economy come back and create more jobs.
The current U.S. tax code is written like it was produced by our economic adversaries who are trying to undermine our American economy. It works against America. We tax what we produce in this country. We don't tax what we import from other countries. Just exactly the opposite of what all other countries do.
Stephen Moore, an economic advisor for the Trump campaign, says it's time to get rid of all the junk in the tax system and make it simple.
Make it really simple. Have a postcard tax return. How much did you make? Pay a certain percentage of that. Maybe an allowance for how many kids you have and how big your family is. But all the stuff that you get, all these tax breaks for investing in windmills and bull sperm and all of this other stuff. Let's just get rid of that.
Now, congressional Republicans have developed a tax reform plan they say will make the tax code simpler and strengthen the economy. Moore believes that with a better tax code, the economy could grow to 3 to 4% a year, which is far better than the 1 to 2% under President Obama. That would add millions of jobs to the market and lead to higher paychecks. Reporting from Washington, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
For more about the Republican plan for simplifying the tax code, CBN founder Pat Robertson spoke with Congressman Kevin Brady. He's the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, and he explained the key points of the new plan and how it would begin to revive the U.S. economy.
What we're laying out is a very pro-family, pro-growth tax code that also busts up the IRS. And the goal here is to create more jobs here in the local economy. It is to simplify the code, to make it so fair and simple it actually can be filed on a postcard for most Americans. And then we want to make sure that we bust up the IRS so that it's actually working for Americans, not against us. And if we do that, one, I think we can get rid of this second-rate economy where so many salaries are flat, where millions of qualified workers can't find a full-time job, and America keeps falling behind. We get weaker, and our foreign competitors get stronger. We want to do the opposite. So this is very much a pro-American tax code as well.
Well, I love what you're doing. Let's start with business. Apparently, the American is the highest tax. When they get through the paying the federal tax, they have to pay state taxes, and we become the highest tax country in the world. What are you doing with business taxes, for starters?
Yeah, one, we make sure Washington takes less of what our local businesses earn so they can invest in the local economy rather than send their money and grow Washington's economy. So we propose the lowest business rates in more than 100 years for businesses, whether they're large or small, family-owned or corporations, because we know that's key to growth. The other thing is, for the first time, we stopped taxing American businesses here at home, and then under the current law, we tax them when they compete and win around the world and try to bring those profits home to invest in our local communities and jobs and research and manufacturing. We're the only country that taxes them. So we stopped doing that for the first time in history. Then also for the first time in history, we stopped taxing what is made in America. And we tax the imports that are coming in. So for the first time, our made in America products will be competitive here and around the world.
The tax code is just riddled with exceptions. You know, the lobbyists have been at it for years, and they have little cutouts and carve-outs for privileges for this, that, and the other. You're doing away with a lot of that stuff, aren't you? You have to in order to get this thing flat.
Yeah, we really are. Since President Reagan reformed the code, it's just gotten more and more complex. In fact, on average, one new tax law a day over the last decade. So who can keep, what families can keep up with that? Which small businesses can keep up with that? The answer is no one. And so we basically go all in for growth on jobs, and for families, we go all in for simplicity. In fact, we've been listening. The American public who've told us for years, why can't we have a code so simple and so fair that it could fit on a postcard? And Washington always sort of dismissed that as that can never happen. Well, guess what? It can happen. And that's what we're proposing, exactly that.
Well, there's one thing in the code that Karl Marx liked right much is called the death tax. I understand you're taking that away.
Yeah, it is. I lead the coalition in Washington and across the country to end the death tax. So for the first time since it was established in 1916, we permanently end it. It's the most immoral tax on the books. It hits the wrong people at the wrong time for the wrong reasons. It's the number one reason family-owned farms and businesses aren't passed down to their kids and grandkids. So we end it, which I think for a lot of Americans is going to be a big sigh of relief.
You can find more details about how the plan will help businesses by watching our extended version of that interview at cbnnews.com. Coming up, we're about to celebrate America's birthday, but how many more do we have left? Why some leaders say that without revival, America is headed for the ash heap of history. Some people consider America the greatest nation on earth. But as Paul Strand reports, many Americans worry that the country has fallen so far from its historic values that it's doomed, unless it makes a serious U-turn.
This time of year, Americans are used to celebrating the nation's birthday and its greatness, but they may soon be mourning its downfall. That's the conclusion of researcher George Barna and historian David Barton in their book, U-Turn, Restoring America to the Strength of Its Roots.
These authors say that the U.S. is entering its own version of the Dark Ages, that any civilization that's gone where America is headed now has gone to ruin.
The founders gave us an amazing foundation, and for us to trample on it and say we're going to build a new one is folly.
The authors point out those early Americans were shaped by the Bible and a Judeo-Christian worldview.
They believed everybody should read through the Bible cover to cover once a year. That's what we did in school. That's what we did in spiritual life. That's what political leaders did. Not today. We can't even get Christians to read that word.
Today, only 30% of Christians read the Bible and less than 10% from cover to cover. And it shows.
Only 9% of born-again Christians have a biblical worldview. Only 51% of pastors have a biblical worldview.
It's led to a complete change in values over 240 years. Then, service to others ruled the day.
Your order of responsibilities is God, country, and family. And so that's part of the biblical thinking they had, which is why the Founding Fathers were told, and specifically taught in schools, we have their textbooks, if someone comes to you and say, we need you to run for office, you're not allowed to say no. You said, I will run. Because, as they point out, your life doesn't belong to you.
Today, it's all about me.
Now we're just worried about comfort and experiences and entertainment and security.
That's led to a world of things that can pile up the kind of debt that can kill a country.
The average American family, they're looking usually at a mortgage debt of about $130,000. They're usually looking at credit card debt of about $21,000. They're looking at a car debt of about $23,000, a college loan debt of about $24,000. And so we're so far in debt that we tolerate it in others.
Like our federal government.
Where we are right now, it will take 107 years of the full production of the American economy to pay off the debt we have right now. We are at a point now where 60% of Americans receive more from the government than what they put in. You can't sustain that.
Compare that to what Thomas Jefferson said.
We can live in debt and extravagance, but we'll be in slavery, or we can be free, but we have to use frugality. George Washington said, avoid occasions of expense. If you want to stay out of debt, just quit spending. And so the Founding Fathers very, very, very clear that what would destroy a nation is debt.
So where's that indicate America's headed?
Into the ash heap of history.
Reverend Sam Rohr invited Barna and Barton to address this gathering of the Pennsylvania Pastors Network because he wants a different outcome.
God's judgment on America and his hand of judgment, which is very obviously here, will put us down on our knees until we look up.
Church folks often say, look at what those people are doing to wreck our country. But Barna and Barton found in their research over and over again that church people are just as guilty as their government, as secular people, of the same kind of ruinous behaviors that are taking the nation down.
In a country that between 78–80% say they're Christian, but only 34% believe in absolute moral truth.
Barna on a regular basis asks Christians and non-Christians about 70 moral categories. And these days, he's finding no substantive statistical difference between Christians and non-Christians when it comes to most moral issues.
Stop pointing the finger and look at ourselves and say, are we really the church that Christ died on the cross for?
Rohr says the church should be confessing to God.
We are the problem. We have walked away from you, and the culture has followed us, not the other way around.
Barna says today's Americans believe they're smarter than the founders, maybe because of education and technology. But the founders had that biblical foundation.
They didn't have all the things that we think are necessary to have a sophisticated society today. But the key isn't sophistication. You know, it's wisdom, it's discernment, it's love, it's grace.
And so until we get back into God's plan and know what his plan is, we'll never get the nation back to where it needs to be.
Today we think that mankind has evolved. We're smarter and wiser than those people who founded the country hundreds of years ago. And yet they were so wise that they founded the greatest nation on the earth, while today's generation are well on their way to losing it. Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from Lancaster Bible College.
Up next, the legend of Tarzan, the big friendly giant, and Finding Dory. We've got your holiday weekend movie wrap after this. July 4th weekend is here, and you may be thinking about heading to the movies. So let's turn now to Bob Olszewski for some family-friendly movie reviews. He's with Plugged In Online, the entertainment review department at Focus on the Family. Bob, there's a new action-adventure film about the legend of Tarzan. How is that one for families?
Well, Caitlin, this one, it's set in 1890, and actually we meet Tarzan as John Clayton III. He's in England, he's with his wife, Jane, but Samuel Jackson's character coaxes Tarzan back to the Congo. When he gets there, Jane's kidnapped. We gave this one, Caitlin, a 3 out of 5 for family friendliness. Quite a bit of violence, a little bit of language, and a little bit of inappropriate dialogue. Now, inappropriate dialogue is never good in any film, in my opinion, but it seems really out of place in this film, especially set in 1890.
Definitely. Okay, so Disney has a new movie out called the BFG, which stands for Big Friendly Giant. What do you think about that one?
This is Steven Spielberg's based on a classic children's book. It's delightful. It's fun. There's some BMGs, big mean giants as well. 9 big mean giants and 1 BFG, big friendly giant, who roams the streets of London at night and helps disperse dreams to children. And he's spotted by this orphan girl named Sophie one night. He doesn't want to be spotted, and he snatches her out of her bed. He has nothing mean planned for her. He just doesn't want her to blab. So it's cute. It's fun. It's not going to change the world, but it's definitely a film to possibly consider to escape the hot summer days and get to an air-conditioned theater.
Now, Finding Dory is also still doing well at the box office. Give us a quick lowdown on that movie again.
My goodness, the #1 animated release of all time now. And I'm happy to say that we gave this one a perfect score, a 5 out of 5. It's simply delightful for families. So even though BFG has potential for families, if you haven't seen Finding Dory, if I had to choose between one or the other, I definitely choose Finding Dory.
There you have it. Bob Waliszewski, thanks as always.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Just in time for Independence Day, a woman's spontaneous rendition of the national anthem has gone viral. Star Swain's impromptu performance at the Lincoln Memorial stopped tourists in their tracks as she sang a powerful rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. More than 30 million people have viewed the video online. Swain says the reason it's reached so many people has nothing to do with her talent, but it's a work of the Holy Spirit.
It didn't matter what the song was, but it was the spirit behind how it was sung. And we know that was the Holy Spirit. I had nothing to do with that.
You can see Swain's interview and her exclusive performance of Amazing Grace by visiting cbnnews.com. That's it for now on CBN NewsWatch. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care about most at cbnnews.com. And tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here. You can do that on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day.